Good day, it's Monday, July 22, 2024. President Biden was in Las Vegas last week and spoke at a major campaign event hosted by the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored Persons, which was attended by a very big crowd of Las Vegans. But on the next day, amid a well-packed venue on the second day, Wednesday, in an event hosted by Unidos US, a big Hispanic American organization, President Biden's campaign canceled his appearance. President Biden was tested positive for the COVID virus. I'm Joe Buban. Welcome to this edition of The Pulse.
And I'm Sam Buban. Welcome to this week's edition. In a statement after 3 p.m. on Wednesday last week, Unidos US President Janet Murguia announced to the crowd that Biden had tested positive for the virus. She announced to the expectant crowd saying, "Regrettably, I was just on the phone with President Biden and he shared his deep disappointment at not being able to join us this afternoon." The president has been at many events, as well as we know, he just tested positive for COVID. He said to tell my folks that we're not going to get rid of him that quickly. He's just really sorry he couldn't be with us, Murguia added. The illness comes as Biden, now 81 years old, comes under mounting pressure from fellow Democrats to withdraw from the race and give way to a younger candidate like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Meanwhile, on that same day, the Republican National Convention was on its third day underway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Some of the speakers there were Trump opponents during the Republican presidential primary who were very critical of Trump, but had returned to endorse Donald Trump, like former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, who publicly announced a few weeks ago that she is voting for Trump, in spite of firmly saying she will never vote for Trump. Also there was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, another Trump critic who are now sounding off their change of heart. J.D. Vance, who Trump named as his running mate for vice president, was among the very audacious supporter of Trump who flip-flopped. From being the most audible critic of Trump and now stamping for Trump loudly at every opportunity, Trump even publicly spoke that J.D. Vance is a very good guy after all, and he had kissed his. The Republican convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, disappointed many local Republicans when Trump questioned and criticized Milwaukee, the city, as a dirty city.
In a recent polls from Emerson College as of July 18th, Trump leads Joe Biden by 5% as of July 18 among Nevadans who responded to the survey, and an average of 4.8 favorable to Trump in Nevada on surveys from 6 organizations like Emerson, Bloomberg, The Times, Fabrizio Anzalone, and Fox News. These surveys, ranging from 800 to 1,069 samples, the same average as are seen in Arizona, which is another one of the battleground states, including Georgia, which was won narrowly by Biden in 2020. These surveys are well within the margin of error, according to pollsters. Numbers like this are making the Democratic Party nervous, as the race between Biden and Trump continue to be considered a toss-up or a tie. That brings up the same situation in 2020 general election, where the election was close, although Biden prevailed as the winner in Georgia, Nevada, and Arizona.
The FBI has now identified the shooter at a Trump rally in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. The assassination attempt that caused a minor injury to Trump's ear in that incident has been identified by investigators as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. According to federal investigators, Crooks was armed with an AR-15 assault rifle, opened fire at the former president while he was addressing a crowd in the town of Butler, Pennsylvania, last week. One member was killed and 2 others were injured during the incident. U.S. Secret Service agent sniper shot dead the 20-year-old. Reports had emerged that the 20-year-old was a registered Republican. According to the FBI, Thomas Matthew Crooks was a smart college student and in high school who got a $500 prize for math and sciences. He finished an associate degree in engineering science at the Community College of Allegheny. The motive for the shooting is not yet known or had not been released publicly by the FBI. We are going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Enjoy FilAmTV Network on KGNG 26.8 Las Vegas and www.filamtv.us. Search for and download FilAmTV Network in Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Download the WCE TV app from smartphones and search for FilAmTV.
From the Telly Award-winning creator of Love and Karma, Legacy, and Ultra Feminist. Underneath the bright neon lights of Sin City, where fortunes are won and lost in an instant, and the truth can be a bit hazy. Join Elena, a hard-working single mother, her hot-headed son Miguel, and Gabriel, a Filipino pop star on the brink of international stardom, as they embark on a journey of self-discovery, love, and the courage to find one's voice and speak the truth. Made to Shine, coming soon, presented by FilAmTV Network, written and directed by Giovanni Espiritu.
To keep updated or for more information, visit filmtv.us/made to shine or scan the QR code to be added to the email list for updates and upcoming opportunities to be part of the show. Executive produced by Sam Buban and Esmeralda Padilla Gould.
Welcome back to the polls. Former Las Vegas Councilwoman Michelle Fiore is facing federal charges for allegedly soliciting donations to build a statue honoring local police officers killed in line of duty and then using the money to pay for daughter's wedding and other bills, according to a report by CBS News 8, a local TV station in Las Vegas. The 53-year-old Fiore now faces 4 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud following an investigation into her campaign finances. According to the indictment, Fiore solicited donations and promised donors that 100% of the contributions would go toward the statue when she was a councilwoman. She allegedly used tens of thousands in donations to pay off her political fundraising bills, rent, and daughter's wedding. Will the Democrats continue to hold control of the United States Senate in next year's 119th Congress? Here are some of the polls in Senate races from the battleground states. In Nevada, where Senator Jackie Rosen is running for re-election, the polling from the Times SAY show her leading by 7 points against Republican Sam Brown. In Arizona, Democrat Ruben Gallego is leading Republican Senate candidate Carrie Lake by also 7 points. Carrie Lake, an election denier who also ran for governor in Arizona in 2022 but did not concede her loss to Katie Hobbs. In the Michigan U.S. Senate race, Congresswoman Elisa Slotkin is polling by 9 points ahead of Republican candidate Mike Rogers, who served in the House of Representatives from 2001 to 2015 in Michigan's 8th Congressional District. Representative Elisa Slotkin served as the House Representative from Michigan's 7th Congressional District. In Wisconsin, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin is also polling at a +7 against her opponent, Republican candidate Eric Hovde. Hovde, who ran in 2012 U.S. Senate primary, lost to former Governor Tommy Thompson. He doesn't appear to be doing well either in this election. In Pennsylvania, Senator Bob Casey is ahead of his Republican opponent by 12 points against challenger David Harold McCormick, who is a businessman and a CEO of Bridgewater Associates, believed to be one of the world's biggest hedge funds. In Virginia, incumbent Senator Tim Kaine is pulling ahead at 11 points against Hong Xiao, a Navy veteran, the Republican challenger.
In the Texas Senate race, Senator Ted Cruz is facing a tough challenge. 2 of the 3 recent pollings places Ted Cruz at only 3 points, ahead of Congressman Colin Allred, the Democratic challenger. That places the contest in the margin of error on the polling and can consider the race now as a toss-up. Ted Cruz is also being outraised by Colin Allred in fundraising. Allred raised more than $10.5 million in the second quarter from April to June, versus Ted Cruz $7.5 million on the same period. What does this mean for the Senate next year? If all Democratic incumbent senators can hold on to their seats, the Democrats can now continue their hold as a majority in the U.S. Senate. Better still, if they can pick up one, like the seat of Ted Cruz, will make the Senate majority even better.
Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey was found guilty on all counts of charges against him Tuesday last week. Senator Robert Menendez, who has served in the U.S. Senate representing New Jersey since January 2006, has been found guilty of 16 counts of charges. A New York federal jury found him guilty of a total of 16 counts of charges, which include bribery, fraud, and foreign agent offenses. The recent court decision delivers a death blow to his political career. Menendez, who is still in the ballot for the 2024 general election as an independent candidate, has no more future in public service. Democratic Party has chosen Congressman Andy Kim as their candidate to face off with Menendez and Republican Curtis Bayshaw for the New Jersey Senate seat. According to federal prosecutor, Menendez was charged with pocketing bribes in exchange for taking official actions to benefit 3 New Jersey businessmen and the government of Egypt and Qatar. During the 2-month trial, witnesses and one of the businessmen who cooperated with the prosecutors described Menendez as a portrait of a crooked politician. Bob Menendez, who is 70-year-old Cuban-American, is scheduled to be sentenced on October 29th. Let's take a commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
From the Telly Award winning creator of Love and Karma, Legacy, and Ultra Feminist. Underneath the bright neon lights of Sin City, where fortunes are won and lost in an instant, and the truth can be a bit hazy. Join Elena, a hardworking single mother, her hot-headed son Miguel, and Gabriel, a Filipino pop star on the brink of international stardom, as they embark on a journey of self-discovery, love, and the courage to find one's voice and speak the truth. Made to Shine, coming soon. Presented by FilAmTV Network. Written and directed by Giovanni Espiritu.
To keep updated or for more information, visit filmtv.us/made-to-shine or scan the QR code to be added to the email list for updates and upcoming opportunities to be part of the show. Executive produced by Sam Buban and Esmeralda Padilla Gould.
Welcome back to The Pulse. In our world news, Nicaragua celebrates 45 years of the establishment of the Sandinista Liberation Movement, now a political party, founded by then and current President Daniel Ortega. The Sandinista government was successful in overthrowing the regime of President Anastasio Somoza in July 17th of 1979. Since the reign of the Sandinista regime in the 1980s, it had faced instability and a bloody civil war against then President Reagan's funded Contra rebels, which then became part of a scandal in the US known as the Iran-Contra affair. The Sandinista regime stepped down after Ortega's defeat by Violeta Chamorro in the 1990 presidential election. The party came back to power in 2016 after Ortega won the election. Since then, there have been speculations and uprisings against him, with anti- and pro-government propaganda, one calling him a hero and the other calling him a tyrant. The Sandinista Liberation Front was named after a revolutionary and farmer named Augusto Sandino, who was a key figure against the United States occupation of Nicaragua in the 1920s and 30s. The 45-year celebration of the movement was congratulated by leaders of nations deemed as enemies of the United States, namely Belarus, China, Iran, and North Korea, who have expressed gratitude and fight against imperialism and unjust U.S. foreign policy aggression.
There have been unrest and protests in Bangladesh over the last few weeks in Dhaka, where protesters, mostly students, demonstrated against a quota government job system that would favor the allies of the political party of the current administration, currently held by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Protesters are also demanding to stop setting aside 30% of jobs for family members of soldiers who fought in 1971 for the independence of Bangladesh from Pakistan. So far, more than 10 demonstrators died in the protest, according to the Associated Press.
A judge under impeachment is eager to face the president of South Africa, according to BBC report. John Hilofe, a once celebrated judge whose career ended shamefully with his impeachment just 5 months ago, has been parachuted into parliament to lead the official opposition, a sign of the profound political upheavals taking place in South Africa. In response to President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech on Thursday, which outlined his new coalition government's plans to address South Africa's numerous issues such as a 32% unemployment rate, high crime rates, deteriorating infrastructure, and land ownership in a country plagued by racial inequality. Dr. Hilofe is expected to be fully operational on Friday. Dr. Hilofe's precipitous decline as a judge in his ascent to prominence in politics can both be attributed by the former President Jacob Zuma, the most divisive figure in South Africa's history, who overcame all odds to make his own historic comeback in the general election on May 29. Less than 3 years after being imprisoned for contempt of court, President Zuma led his newly established party Umkhonto Yesizwe, Spear of the Nation, to third place in the election. He was the first president of South Africa to do so. However, due to his 15-month jail sentence, which prevented him from holding his place in the parliament, President Zuma resorted to Dr. Hilofe to assume the crucial position of the leader of the opposition.
The Knesset of Israel votes against Palestinian statehood, according to a report from Al Jazeera. According to Israeli media, the Israeli parliament overwhelmingly rejected the creation of a Palestinian state in a resolution that was passed. Early on Thursday last week, the motion was approved by the Knesset with 68 votes in favor and just 9 against it. According to the statement, the establishment of a Palestinian state would prolong the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, destabilize the region, and pose an existential danger to the state of Israel and its citizens. The motion was co-sponsored by the Alliance of Far-Right Parties and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, despite having earlier stated that he supported a two-state solution. Opposition leader Yair Lapid's center-left party departed the meeting to avoid endorsing the declaration, according to the Times of Israel newspaper. The passage of the resolution, according to Jordan's foreign ministry, constituted a dangerous breach of international law. According to a statement citing the ministry's spokesperson, Sufyan al-Quda, Israel's continued efforts to deny the Palestinians inalienable right to their independent and sovereign state along the lines of June 4, 1967, with occupied Jerusalem as its capital, does not bring security and peace in the region. The resolution has divided Democratic Party senators who have voiced opposition to Israel's actions in its war on Gaza just before Netanyahu is scheduled to address the United States Congress in Washington, D.C. next week. A two-state solution is unlikely due to Israel's policies in the occupied West Bank, according to remarks made by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Wednesday.
In the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen was re-elected to the same position as EU's Secretary General. She pledged to do more for spending in arms for the EU forces and continue support Ukraine in the country's defenses against the Russian invasion. The recent elections in several countries in Europe, especially among EU and NATO members, are seeing radical change to the right. Although the major powers retained its progressive center-left majority in many of these countries, there has also been a taste for authoritarianism and nationalism affecting the political landscape in Europe. That's all, folks, for this week's edition. Please join us again next week. I'm Joe Buban. Thank you for watching.
And I'm Sam Buban. Thank you, and God bless your week.
from the Telly Award-winning creator of Love and Karma, Legacy, and Ultra Feminist. Underneath the bright neon lights of Sin City, where fortunes are won and lost in an instant, and the truth can be a bit hazy. Join Elena, a hardworking single mother, her hot-headed son Miguel, and Gabriel, a Filipino pop star on the brink of international stardom, as they embark on a journey of self-discovery, love, and the courage to find one's voice and speak the truth. Made to Shine, coming soon, presented by FilAmTV Network, written and directed by Giovanni Espiritu.
To keep updated or for more information, visit filmtv.us/made to shine or scan the QR code to be added to the email list for updates and upcoming opportunities to be part of the show. Executive produced by Sam Buban and Esmeralda Padilla Gould.